Hi, I'm Brandon.
Hey, welcome to TTFU. This is Annie, Joe, and Brandon here. So we're just gonna get right into it. Let's just start with what the fuck are we talking about here? Basically, we're just gonna explain where we're from, who we are. What we're talking about is our road to recovery, conscious evolution, spiritual awakening. Don't judge me because I'm nervous right now. So we're just gonna start with that. Okay, I'm a little nervous. I have a little fog in my throat. So Brandon, how did you get here?
How did I get where I'm at in life?
Yeah, where are you from? And what's up with you? Who are you? Let's tell our listeners who
I'm
we
Brandon. I'm come from Lubbock, Texas. I'm currently in California, and I have four siblings. I'm the youngest.
So we got a baby in the house.
Mom and dad I grew up in the same household with mom and dad. It was a lot of violence, a lot of drinking, a lot of unstableness. The love wasn't there, and it brought me to the character I am today. Grew up to be tough. Nothing but tough love was shown in the house. The word love never got tossed around in our house.
So let me ask you a question. How did you get into an addiction? How did you get onto this road of recovery?
I got into the addiction due to the fact that I used to be a drug dealer. And
so he started getting high off his own supply.
Basically.
Okay, we all been there. Let's not lie and say we ain't been there.
But it was really due to the fact of me steady falling asleep on alcohol and getting robbed every night. And I seen my brother and them, and they used to laugh at me and tell me, that's why you keep falling asleep, because you're not on this.
Okay.
And this is methamphetamines as we speak.
Okay.
And so I was like, I'm tired of getting robbed. And so I started using methamphetamines, but still sold crack at the time.
How long were you doing those things and those drugs and those substances until you decided, oh, let me go try and get clean?
I started doing this in 2012. I started methamphetamines in 2012, okay. 2013. I'm 10 days clean as we speak. So,
snaps, everyone. Snaps. We're going to give snaps, not claps.
But I'm 10 days clean, and I decided to take this road to recovery with you.
Period. Okay. So it's funny because I actually got started in my addiction in 2012 too. First thing, Percocet. I'm going to let this be known right here, right now. I'm a trash can. I've done just about every single drug that there is to do. So started with Percocets, house got raided, went to jail, ended up on heroin after that. And I have a year clean from heroin on March 13th.
Let's back it up a little bit. Where did you come from?
Oh, yeah. So let's start right there. I'm from Pennsylvania, a little shitty town, a little shitty hole in the wall, Newcastle, Pennsylvania. I've lived in many different places, though. So I'll say for the first, 19 years of my life, I was there. Left for a few months, went back for a few years, left again for a couple years. I was kind of jumping around for a while, trying to just find my place. The longest I've had clean is 2 years, but I still wasn't living right. So I want to say I wasn't clean. You know what I mean? I wasn't living right. I wasn't doing right. So therefore, I wasn't being a normal citizen. I wasn't.
What made you start your addiction?
So I played around with things before I actually got into addiction. I played with Adderall and Oxys and some other stupid shit prior. But then I had got a little boyfriend and together we just stopped. It was no addiction there. It was just strictly for fun. I was never using by myself. Well, I turned 18. My family is Italian as fuck, very racist as fuck. And I decided I'm a rebel and I'm going to do what I want. And I went and got my own little apartment and I'm in college and I'm working. And I decided to have a black boyfriend. And I got disowned. Well, this black boyfriend of mine, RIP to him because he actually died from an overdose. He gave me my first Percocet. And I threw up outside of a gas station, and I fucking hated it. But I was able to talk, and I was able to like get past my anxiety, and it just felt okay. So the next day I took another one, and the next day I took again, and then the next day after that I'm taking them, and then I'm taking 2, and then I'm taking 3 at a time. And it just progressed. Like, it's a progressive disease.
So let's take a moment of silence for all the ones that we lost due to addiction.
Period. Yeah, for real. Because I feel like I've seen too many people lose their lives, either dead or in jail for a very long time, all of the rest of their youth, to this disease. And it's just nothing really to play with. And I feel like I'm thankful for the disease in a way, because if it was not for the disease, I probably wouldn't have had my spiritual awakening. I wouldn't be sitting right here in this chair right now at all, because I wouldn't be in rehab. A. But B, I wouldn't even have cared. Like, I was never awake. My whole, I want to say 28 years of life. Well, I'm born in 93, but I'm 21 forever. Let's just, so whatever. But most of my life, up until maybe a year or 2 ago, I was asleep. I was a walking autopilot. Like, I was going through the motions day after day. I had a conscience, but I didn't, if that makes sense. Like, I cared about things, but I didn't.
You was numb to the feeling.
I was numb to everything. And it's like, yeah, I cried. Yeah, I was this. Yeah, I was sad about things. I was happy. But I didn't have this awareness of myself that I have now. And I didn't care about anything. And I was very angry most of my life and unhappy. And I never felt good enough. And I feel like if I wouldn't have overdosed as many times as I did, or if I wouldn't have, I'm not even going to promote acid, but I will say that had a little part of my spiritual awakening. I feel like I wouldn't be awake at all. Like, I would still be that numb, unconscious, robotic girl from Pennsylvania, stuck there.
So we got to thank the higher power.
For sure.
For awakening you.
Period.
To think better, to know better, to do better.
Period.
And with my situation is that my dad was on drugs. He was on crack cocaine. They drunk every day. But I never used crack cocaine because I always thought crack is whack. Crack is cheap. You know what I mean?
Gotta do cocaine. Yeah,
so crack was whack. Crack was cheap, and that was the choice of drug that I chose to deal. But when I got into the game of methamphetamines, now this is a different story. See, for one, our black culture, we don't believe in rehabs. We don't believe in, it's an addiction. Ours is get the fuck over it, stop using, and move the fuck on. There's no such thing as
like
rehab.
Stop crying before I give you something to cry about type of situation.
Type shit.
Right.
And through all of life that I have seen other black people, I'd never really heard of no black person going to a rehab. So me taking that step alone can change the whole culture.
I want to say it is such, and for anybody, if you are listening, it is such a turn on to see a thug man at that, a black thug man at that, to admit that he has a problem and to actually do something about it. I was talking to somebody earlier and I told them, like, it's just so cool for me to see a gangster, an OG, actually get help. Because I feel like for women, it's kind of almost, I don't want to say easier, because it's not easy for anybody.
Right.
But, we kind of are expected to be in rehabs. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, that girl's getting high. You know what I'm saying? Look at her.
Let's get her help.
Yeah, let's get her help. But the men, it's like, no, they don't know. You don't ever see somebody look at a man and say, he needs to go to get help. No, they just throw you guys in jail or throw you the fuck away. And it's like, we got to change somewhere. Some point in time, we have to change the cycle.
Definitely.
And it starts with you. It starts with me. It starts with we, us.
This story within us, it came to a road. It came to a path that we had to make. It came to a choice we had to make, I should say, because we was doing hot rails. Me and her, let's just be all the way blunt with it. We was doing hot rails. We was high as fuck. And she sat me down and she said, Smoke.
Which is his name that we no longer call him.
We no longer go by Smoke. But y'all will hear more about Smoke in the documentary. But we definitely came to a conclusion where we was in a situation where we was at a crossroads within life. We was going to take this path or this path. This path was incarceration, death, and more addiction. And this path was get your shit together, be a successful person.
This path is get your shit together. Yes.
And honor your loved ones that you have lost due to addiction, and then your family members as well to be proud of you. And both of us sit there and we chose this path. So that's what brought us here today.
Yeah, my dad used to tell me there's two paths in life, the right path and the wrong path. And for the longest time, I just thought, well, I'm already on the wrong path. I can't get off of it now. It's just two paths. What am I going to do? But I just want to let everyone know there's always that you can always turn and choose a new path. You're not stuck. So never think that you're stuck because you're not stuck.
Because during these before these 10 days, 2-3 months ahead, it's like all I thought was where I was going to get killed at. And my vision of getting killed was outside of a motel room in Amarillo, Texas. Somebody was going to blow my brains out. And that alone made me, and I was thinking this every day. These thoughts came to my mind every day. And then I knew that I had to make a change. And God brought us within the path of each other through a mutual friend, Kaylin Anderson. Shout out to KK.
He'll be on here eventually, but hey, KK, right now we is not on good terms. No, I'm playing. I love you. Okay.
Through the path with him, we was able to connect and become good friends and go forward with our situation together. We was getting high together. Now we're on the road to sobriety together.
And so let's just, real quick, let's just touch base on, for our listeners out there, things we're going to be touching on is personal training, spiritual awakenings, conscious evolution, mindfulness, how to get help, seek help when you need it, the road to recovery in general. We're going to be sharing our story. I'm 15 days in, he's 10 days in. We're just going to share, our success with you guys because, if we can just touch one person and just help one person change paths, that's good enough for me.
Because we can't change the world.
We can't, but we can change ourselves.
If we can change ourselves, and if it touches 1% of the world,
I'm cool with that.
We're cool with that.
I'm cool with that. I'm so cool with that. He's making a documentary in the making, so he'll go ahead and give you his socials before we end here. Also, I do tarot card readings. I help chakra healing, inner child healing. I have a website in the making for that. So, just stay freaking tuned, man. Coming to ears near you. Anything else to say before we end here?
This is a podcast for self-help of yourself and for us. And we are able to be uncut and raw because we're not going to hide shit. We're not going to deny shit.
It's called True Talk from us because we saying true to you and us. Period.
Straight up.
Peace out. We love you. TTFU gang.
Make sure you get my Instagram, which is Brandon McChristian. My Facebook, which is Brandon McChristian. And I have a TikTok coming, and I will let y'all know exactly what that is on.
And my Facebook is Step Joe. My TikTok is Step Joe Yoho. But I will add the descriptions at the bottom of the video. And talk to y'all soon.
Thank y'all. Peace out.